Hey everyone, you're listening to the Draftful Dodger podcast, episode 7, season 2, and as usual, in front of the microphone, I'm your host, Vova Zeeon, a Ukrainian stand-up comic who tries to make it in Toronto. So this podcast started as my rant about the whole comedy industry in Toronto in general, but somehow I moved on to the interviews with the local comedians. And if you like my stuff, please follow me on social media, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and support me by tapping the link and donating me on Buy Me a Coffee. If you feel so, if you really like it, it's completely voluntarily, so don't be afraid to do that. And today's guest is really special for me because he's not only my fellow comedian, but he's also the vinyl record lover, the bar owner, and recently he became a father. So please welcome Jamal Watson. Okay, let's roll. Thanks for coming, Jamal.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's right around the corner from where I stay. So
yeah, that's pretty cool. And yeah, I know, like, I'm living in here, and a little bit lower, on Queen Street, you have a bar as well?
I used to have a bar called Tammy's.
Yeah.
Which I used to open myself up, but that place is gone. But I have two places. There's one called Loveless.
Yes.
And then I have another place called Tommy's. Those are pretty...
That's my first question, actually.
Yeah.
So music is clearly a massive pillar of your life. Yeah?
Music?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, from naming Loveless, after My Bloody Valentine, to your vinyl collection.
Yeah.
Where did that obsession with physical records and music actually start for you? And was there a specific record or a family member that planted the seed early on?
Yeah, my mom had a lot of records. And I remember... There was just a thing where I don't know. I think sometimes when you're trying to like carve out some sort of niche thing of your own in high school, you kind of pick some weird collecting thing. Like, there's always like I collect comic books or whatever. I already had more of a record collection than most people I knew because through my mom. And then, and I as a, it's as tedious and as pretentious as it sounds, it's a much warmer feeling, like a very,
for sure.
And I like unless I remember if you get like a greatest hits and they try to pack like 20 recordings on, that's just compressed or whatever. But after people were starting burning CDs and stuff like that, and I was and then what kind of really put it over the top is when I lived in the States, I used to DJ, and I was doing an 80s night, and all the 80s records were always in the dollar bins. It was always Cyndi Lauper or something or a Guns N' Roses. Those were a dime a dozen. So you end up kind of making oddly enough a really for $15 you can get more records than you can get a CD or something 100%. Like that. So that kind of did that. But it was always just kind of my mom when she would relax. I know you can't see me, but I'm doing the putting on chapstick daily. When she would smoke weed or something like that, she was always putting on a record, and I'd always be like, "Mommy's relaxing," and I liked when she would relax. So,
did you have specific favorite records?
She's right now she was a 70-year-old black woman now, but when I met her, she was a 26-year-old black woman trying to be 70. So it was a lot of Aretha Franklin and a lot of reggae. She grew up in Jamaica, and she was one of those kids that used to have a thing where this is an old rude boy story, but they used to press the stuff in England, and when they would get to Jamaica, competing band members, and Bob Marley talks about this a lot, and Peter Tosh, they would break other people's records, so they would start sending the records without any CDs on them or whatever. Well, sorry, without any
labels
or whatever. Yeah, so there'd be that, and there'd be a manifest. And so the only way, everyone stopped breaking shit because they were like, oh, that might be mine. But the only person that knew was the DJ. But my mom was one of those people that used to run down to the wharf of Jamaica and grab and she has all these Dennis Brown records and all these old Iroy records that are all just there's nothing on it, and
yeah, sounds pretty cool. I mean, that's always interesting because I myself used to trade vinyl a little bit back in Ukraine and high-end and hi-fi like setup. But what's the one rare or weird record in your collection that you hunted down for ages and will never part with it?
I just got it actually. I was having a hard time trying to find Willie Hutch, the Mac, the soundtrack to the Mac. It has been out of print for a long time. I finally broke down. I found a guy in England who had it. I paid an amount of money that. One of the things I won't talk about, because as someone who just had a kid, I paid too much money for this record, but I really love the song "I Choose You," and it's on there. And but I've been on the active look for it for like 5-6 years. I've gone to every time I go to a record store, I look for it. I found something close to it. I found other Willie Hutch records.
Mm-hmm.
I've asked the people at Rotate if they ever see it to put it away for me. I've gone to battles and asked them. I've asked Grasshopper, asked everybody I know, and no one has been able to track down or find this record. And I finally dodged the bullet and said, I bit the bullet, I guess, and I was like, I'm going to buy this record. So
why it's so important for you?
Because no one else has it. I don't know. It's just like it. You know, I got it the other day and I listened to it twice and I was like, well, now it goes back in here and I can still listen to it on any other thing, like the way I used to listen to it. I don't know. I need the physical copy of things sometimes, music more than anything.
Yeah.
Especially like music is so much more, but especially vinyl. It's like you open it, you pull out the sleeve. Sometimes there's a back fold, there's a gate fold. Like if you do like Isaac Hayes has a Black Moses album that opens up as a cross and shit like that. People used to put it on their walls. It's like it's like a guaranteed poster. Like you can frame them and put them up, and like people kind of know what you're about. Like, but if you just have when you had like a bunch of CDs hanging out in a CD booklet, like no one cared.
100%.
So I feel like that's kind of more why I like them, because they kind of double as also, especially the older ones. There's some like crazy art pieces in them, and like So that's kind of it. I mean, or why I find it to be more important.
It gives the significant place for art in it. Yeah, because like it's like so material when you're just taking it and you can just literally understand what's in there, what was printed, what was just taken like as a photograph or whatever.
Yeah,
it can be.
The liner notes are usually better too, especially in the older ones, or the like some like Light in the Attic or like Studio One records. They always have like what the session like you can read like what the sessions were like, where people were recording things, and if anyone was like having beef or fighting, or who was doing drugs or whatever. Those are usually like all in the liner notes and all the thank yous, so you can kind of see like everyone's ex-girlfriends or whatever. And so I always like reading the liner notes too sometimes.
Do you have like one item, or for example, I know John Lennon used to have 3. One was just, even unpacked. Yeah. Another one he had for himself listening. Another one for giving. I have doubles of certain things, but mostly because I just like abuse them too much. And then I started getting vinyl for Loveless. Mm-hmm. So I started, the ones I cared about too much to bring over there, I would get. And sometimes I have these really good, like I got like a reissue of Loveless by My Bloody Valentine. Because now it's like, I have like, not an original, but like I have like a 4th press of something. Now it's like 180 gram. You can't really break it. It won't really melt. It's like, it's idiot proof. And you can, so I have like stuff like that. I was reading about the most expensive record ever sold, and it was Ringo got the first copy of the White Album like off the press, 00001, and like sold it for $750,000. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, but also it's like. But he probably also had access to number 8 that he probably gave to someone. Like there's probably like a lady out there who like briefly like hung out with the Beatles who might be like,
here you go.
Here you go. Yeah, like on your way out, like, well, take one. So you can buy that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, like listening to vinyl forces you to slow down and listen like the whole album from end to end. Yeah. Yeah. Like even if we're speaking about like nowadays, like streaming platforms, they are not giving you that option.
Yeah, I had to get off that because it's such like it's like song and next song and next song. But when people like, I believe people still kind of make albums with the purpose that they are whole albums, and they're supposed to be listened to without interruption for the most part. So yeah, it's actually kind of like rewired my brain to like spend more time in a moment, as opposed to, just like, oh, I'm just gonna. It's like good. It's like that. Like, Spotify is fine when you're at work, but if you really want to like actually like listen, like, you wouldn't watch a comedy special, listen to one joke, turn on the next one, and then like keep on doing that. So it's kind of like that for me.
So here's the question out of it: like, does being a vinyl guy influence how patient you are on the stage with setups and letting silences breathe rather than rushing to punchlines?
I don't think vinyl does that. I'm already naturally high strung. I do believe I. Albums and especially I have a bunch of old comedy albums too, and those ones are like the way that comedy used to be written. Like whatever. It's like even like a Flip Wilson or whatever. It's just like there's a whole thing to it. I never subscribed to, and not that anything's wrong with it. And I, as much as I love like I will gladly watch Don Rickles or Rodney Dangerfield or Hedberg or whoever does like one-liners, all the damn day. But for me personally, it's always been like I've always wanted to. I think because like when I first started watching comedy, I only saw like hour-long specials. It's kind of one of those things where you like the first time you go up to do stand-up, like I have like 30. I wrote like 20 minutes worth of shit. And like it'll be 5 minutes. I was like, what? No. Like,
I have 20.
Yeah. The joke's not till the end. I don't know what to do. There's a lot of weird premises.
Yeah, like wait, I have more.
Yeah. No. You can keep flashing that light. I have to do my 20 minutes. But no, I don't think vinyl helped that. I think it was just just like how. Just like I think everything else maybe helped that. I think it's just in general, like I will binge a series. I will watch if I am, dear God, even if I'm starting a franchise, like if you just told me Star Wars, like I'm watching all of them. Like like I have to get to the beginning, the end of everything.
Till the worst ones.
Yeah, I have to go to the worst ones. Yeah, so that's just like how I am. I think, but
that's awesome.
Yeah,
and like. I also know one thing that probably just, correct me if it's wrong, but like behind the bar owner and vinyl collector persona, you also collect modal sailboats and bird taxidermy. Yes or no? Like
there's a yes and there's a no.
Okay.
I like those things, and when I opened Loveless. Like I was like, there was a I had another place called Unlovable. Anyways, I bought a diorama set of these three birds, these Arctic ptarmigans, that I was like, I'm gonna build a bar around this. And then people would bring me birds. And I would say, okay, sure, like whatever. I don't personally care. They think they would make the bar a thing, but there's no birds or boats at my house.
Like obsession.
No. There's those I only have the birds at the bar. And then I remember one of our regulars was this guy who worked for like 1-800 call junk or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like take my junk. And he was cleaning out this taxidermist had died, and he was cleaning out his place, and they were about to throw out all these like birds and shit. Because they had nothing to do with it. So he's like, hey, you want a few birds for like a bar tab? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then everyone like came in and was like, oh, you must really like be into this. Like, I think they thought I paid for them and I didn't really.
Okay.
Yeah, I just got one guy really drunk and then.
What about the modal sailboats?
Oh, that one might be. I had a blue nose. I had like a small blue nose that my buddy gave me because I did at one time want to buy a boat, and it fell through. I tried to buy a boat. I don't know why. Like everything else, it started out like really. I had an idea for the name of the boat, which was Nautical by Nature, and me and my friend were trying to buy this boat, and it didn't happen. Then my other friend found out that we had fallen through it kind of the last moment. He was like, oh, I got you this Blue Nose, which is the fastest Canadian boat ever made. And then other people started bringing me boats, but I don't have no.
Okay. Yeah. So do you have any other like not obsessions? Okay, let's not call it obsessions, but like any collections except vinyl that you're just like falling into?
I have I'm gonna call it a collection because I think a collection you kind of protect. I have an inappropriate amount of ironic 70s t-shirts from working at a vintage shop. But yeah, it's not it's something I gravitate towards. I like ironically, like I like dumb shirts. Every time I see anyone, I'm usually just wearing like a white shirt with a shirt over it. Yeah. But I have a bunch of like really, really dumb shirts. I never thought there would be a time where an irony would die and everyone would just wear like black or something, but apparently that's happened. So now I'm kind of stuck looking like a dork when I go do anything.
Why? What are those kinds of t-shirts?
I don't know. It's just like, you know, I don't know, when everyone became like, you know, like into the gym or whatever, everyone's sort of just wearing nothing but black. And I would go to places and be like, you know, and I'd just be wearing, what kind of shirts? Oh, like I have a bunch of like shirts from like in Living Color, which is like late 80s, early 90s, yeah. But they have like a lot of like, just like I got like a Jägermeister shirt from the 70s. I have like this like, that's like, it's not like all the rings are all yellow. It's like they all have died, but I should throw them out. And I have a lot of band shirts. Like I got like a Diana Ross one. I have like Michael Jackson ones I can't wear anymore. And like I can't sell them and I don't know what to do with them. Like stuff like that.
That's pretty cool. I've never heard about that. Like before, like that people were collecting t-shirts. And it's not like collecting, yeah.
It was like more functional. I just like I worked in vintage for a long time as a picker when I lived in Atlanta. I used to like have to go to places and have to like unload all these bales of huge, just like to be like 1,000 pounds of t-shirts and dig through them. And we had like clients in England and like California and shit. And so we had like, someone would want 25 shirts. I have to go through 1,000 of them, pick 25 good ones. And then some of them got kept for me. That's how that kind of thing started.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. They can't sue me anymore. The people. They can't fire me. I've already gone.
Okay. How much of your stand-up delivery, actually comes from years behind the bar at Loveless? And instantly reading who in the room is lying, who's trying too hard, and who's about to cause trouble.
Being a bartender and having the piece of wood in between you and having something behind you, booze, that people want, you get people kind of at their best behavior, or sometimes they're worse. It was really informative because it helped me just be able to talk to people. It's kind of weird. Like it's the only thing that doesn't translate is like when you're on stage, like you want to be likable to some extent, and trying to get that done really quickly within your 5 or 7 or sometimes 3 or whatever you're trying to do. Cause like you can always tell a joke on stage and it can be a great joke and it could be whatever, but if no one likes you, it's kind of that kind of thing. So, bartenders or anyone who works in service and even if it's like retail, like they're trying to get you to get something by being likable, and like and I think the laughs are kind of like that. That's transactional as well. Like I want to get the laughs, so I'm trying to be likable. And it's like, there's nothing, like it's weird. Like, and I'm very guilty of this because it's just such a, but you go, oh, let me tell you a little bit about me. You say that. And then it's like, okay, well, here comes a bit, like right after you say that, like, it's kind of like you're letting the crowd know that now it's time to pay attention. And there's like, I think ways to kind of, navigate that. As far as like trouble goes, I've never, I haven't had too much trouble in comedy, but when I see it happening, I always feel the people who want to cause trouble are going to, and the people who navigate it the best are kind of the people who, it's kind of like, they don't really try to force stop it. It feels more like judo. Like it's like they use their momentum against them. So that's always a really interesting thing to see. So
yeah. So like how actually, if you're facing those kind of situations, you are dealing with those, for example.
I tell them I'm not good enough and I should move on now. Actually, I saw someone do that. It was really funny. When this happened, I try to acknowledge, at least the idea that they have something to say. It's usually, it's like a bad heckler is really, in my opinion, someone with like no opinion whatsoever.
Yeah.
and so there's not really much to work with. So it's just someone being stupid. Like I don't mind like we've all seen it where hecklers actually helped your set a little bit in a way. I'm not asking people to heckle, but it's like there is like there's just like an awareness where I think. Remember at the last open mic at Tammy's when I had to like bum rush a guy out.
Oh yeah,
and that was like that guy like didn't want to have fun. Like it's just like he just wanted. And then I don't really. I really haven't handled too much of that when I see it. But like it's like I'm gonna keep his name out of it, but. There's one comedian that we all know who, when he gets heckled, and like I always feel bad for the heckler because like he's going to destroy them. And it's not proportionate response. It's like a very scorched earth thing. Where
here you go.
Yeah,
you wanted that, man.
Yeah, and I always I know, and I always love it, but I'm always like, oh, that guy is just rethinking his life and crying somewhere. Actually, I'll say it's Provo, and I like when he does it. It's weird, but it's fun.
Yeah. Okay. There was one question that actually I've been interested in because you'll go to Instagram and see a lot of different nicknames like someone got jokes, someone tells jokes, someone like comedy, funny, whatever. Your Instagram nickname is the Gucci Champion.
Yep.
Where did it come from?
I'm always late to the party on some things. I was convinced a rapper was going to buy that name from me. There was a lot of Gucci's going on.
Yeah.
And I was like, the Gucci Champion is definitely a thing that's going to happen. And that guy's going to have to pay me for money. That's all that happened. I was also... Okay, sorry. Yeah. No, actually it was... And there's a subtext to this. And then there was someone made these like... really cringy, they were these sweatshirts with the Champ logo, like the brand the Champ.
Yeah.
But then they put the word Gucci around it, like in the Gucci logo. So the C was the Champ, so it was like Gucci Champ. And then I bought one thinking it was really cool. And I like changed my name. I changed my Instagram name to that. And I went out to a concert and this one guy was wearing my shirt and I was like, oh shit, the algorithm got both of us. And then I threw them away. So now I've stuck with the name and I was like, I kind of like it now. It's kind of grown on me as like a reminder that things are going to stick with you for a very long time. But yeah, no, that was just a dumb thing that. But I really did believe I thought it, it was an investment at the time.
That sounds nice. I mean, that's interesting. At least when you were talking to someone and sometimes you're like, okay, something trivial. Yeah, happens when people are naming their Instagram. I tell jokes, I get fun or whatever. But yeah, Gucci Champion, that was actually interesting. I was like, how can I find Jamal?
Yeah. Who's this guy? Yeah, no, then I'm such not a Gucci champion. Nothing about me says Gucci champions. It's just a weird thing.
Okay, moving on. You recently become a dad. Yeah, so becoming a dad upends everything.
Yes.
What was the biggest cultural shock moving from running the coolest wine bar in Dundas West to negotiating with the baby at 4:15 a.m.?
You can't negotiate with a baby. You can't. No, it's kind of like it's very humbling. In professions, in bars, in jokes or whatever, there is a certain amount of power that you have over the situation. Nothing, it's trite, but whatever. Every cliche applies. There is nothing you can do. You can read as much as you want or whatever, or as little as you want about it. The kid just kind of does what it wants to do. You can really only do so much. You can feed it, you can burp it, and you can change its diapers, but everything else is kind of up to its thing. There is kind of a fun release in the idea that you aren't in any control.
Yeah.
But there's nothing that I've learned so far because she can't really, she can't speak. She only can communicate by crying or smiling. And I don't think she knows what the two are. Like, I don't think she knows the difference between the two. If she smiles, I smile. If she cries, I start smiling to get her to cry, like whatever. It's just, she's hungry or she's not. It's it's really very enjoyable and very, very fun. And, we're 4 months, but it's also very scary. I can't even negotiate with her mother either. So there's nothing. I have no answers for that because there's nothing I've learned yet.
Okay. So, like, in general, would you say that your perception of comedy changed with like appearing? Yeah.
From having a kid?
Yeah. Did it change your perspective? Did it change your perception of life?
Yeah, it changed. The first major way it changed was I have to be way more selective with my time and what I choose to do.
Yeah.
Before leading up to it, I would do as many open mics as I could or whatever, and that was fine, and I like doing that. But now, because of the situation, everything has to be honed and be much more in control, and I can only go out so much and do so much. So it's really changed the way I approach it and how I value my time. I don't think you're probably not gonna catch me trying to go to an open mic that may or may not give you 3 or 4 minutes. If I know there's one with 5, at another different time, I'm gonna work harder on that. I think the perception part that's changed is I can look at bits that I didn't really get before and understand them now. Now, like all of Louis' older stuff about kids makes a lot more sense to me. I feel like a little bit more skin in that game. And I feel that whole genre of comedians who are dads is like now something I get to revisit and like a much more, and then kind of, and definitely having the realization that like, that's a joke I was writing. Like those jokes have been done. There's been jokes about being a parent before. So kind of like navigating like that kind of space have been the 2 major changes with it. So, yeah.
Okay. So do you think that like actually like being a dad forced you to cut the fluff of your stand-up writing? Because you literally don't have the energy for weak punchlines.
I mean, maybe maybe a better comedian might have a better, I was talking to another comedian parent, and there's a bunch of them, and I think it's like kind of like some of them are like, everyone's on different levels of wherever they are in the thing. I think the jokes still have to be worked out. I still think you might, think you're doing something that's really, mind-blowing, and then realize that's like a bit that everyone else has, everyone kind of has a joke about having sex with a pregnant lady, and is that a threesome or whatever? Like, like those are things that are kind of like, but yeah, no, I mean, for me, I still have to work out the process. So I still have to get in front of people, whether they be other open micers or a place with a very limited audience. And, but I always kind of have a rule. If you've paid to be there, I'm going to make sure I'm doing jokes that I believe work the best. Like if I'm on a book show, if I'm doing an open mic, I mean, like now, like when I do open mics, it's much more of a workout. It's unless I'm about to do a show and like I feel like I'm in a polish mode.
Yeah.
But now it's like I will say insane things that like I have this like kind of idea, like this misconception of like open mics are whatever. And when I first started doing open mics, I saw people get booked from doing open mics. It's like some of the only ways that producers sometimes would see you, or you'd meet other comedians that can get you on the shows. So if you weren't like, you can do bad at an open mic if you're good. But when no one knows you're good, you kind of have to do good at open mics. And so I kind of was making them a little bit more precious than I thought and so now when I don't really mind if I bomb at an open mic, I don't really like it. Well, before I was kind of always like, well, maybe I'll just do one new joke. And it's like, if I have 5 new ones, even if they're like fucking really weird, and I'm at Smalls and because like now the cup doesn't concern me because I can't stay long enough to get it. So like now I'll be like, okay, I'll do I'll do 4 really dumb things, and I will run away right after that. So
makes sense.
yeah.
Okay. Like it's all about the control of the room when you're on the stage. So you keep like your set really calm and low key energy. Yeah. So how do you force a room to lower their volume and meet you at your level?
Well, being funny and trusting the material really helps. Getting people's attention is still something, for me, one of my biggest problems still to this day with everything was like, eye contact or whatever. So now I kind of knowing like, so people know I'm looking at them. So like they know not to, fluctuating volume. I have been like, oh wait, kind of thing. Like, like that's always good. But yeah, I think about people who like immediately, like when I see like Ben Albert, right? Like he's kind of got like a kind of a little monotone voice, he's very kind of deep and like, but he's got like such a stage presence. And then like I think about like, my friend Nathan, same way but opposite, because like his voice gets higher and higher as the joke progresses, so it's going somewhere. But it's just always. But I really think like when I'm comfortable in my material and I feel, and especially if I'm in a book show and I have had the pleasure of not being like first, and I'm not really in that kind of warm up bullet spot, like that's always very helpful. Like if you're going like third, the crowd's already into it or whatever. I also
Speaking of eye contact, I just remembered Steve Martin words that you don't have to look, because like at some point he was telling a story when he had a show in there and he realized, okay, I need to look at the audience, and he looked and no one was laughing in there because he listened and he heard a bunch of laughs like out of the whole audience. And he was like, first row not laughing at all, but they are listening. And it's tough. It's tough to like set an eye contact with a certain person. But I also heard like an experience when like someone was not laughing and comic was trying to convince them, like to make them laugh, looking like directly in the eyes and like, I will crush you. You're fucking gonna laugh, whatever. So like, do you think you want to try that one day? Or there is no need to do that? I mean, like you're okay with...
Well, like, you said the thing about listening is like, like when people are waiting for the punchline, if you got them, like that's, I really try not to, I'm not always successful, but I really try not to blame the audience in any sort of way where it's like if, but like there are people who just don't want to laugh, or like some people just, and for those people, please don't sit in the front row, like if that's like, because we kind of need that front row to be like as rowdy as possible, or as paying attention. But that really hasn't happened to me in the idea of that. But I think I wouldn't be honest, because I've definitely been doing it, and I know they want to laugh. And I just don't know what the thing is. I don't know why they won't give it to me sometimes. Like, it's like, I know they do. Like, I'm looking right at you. You're right on the cusp. Like, it's like, and then it's like, I'll listen to the set and be like, okay, well, I guess I can throw 2 more punch-ups in here. See if I can just like more, because like, sometimes you're just at the mercy of time, right? Like, it's like, well, sometimes I'm just like, oh, well, I don't want to, I think I got the 3 best tags for this joke. If I put 2 more in it, like, this is like start, like, under its own weight, start going, sinking itself. So, but yeah, I guess I would try it. I mean, I just haven't had the chance yet. We'll see how next weekend goes. I got a few shows.
Setting a challenge.
Yeah. I will scream at somebody, but yeah.
Okay. At Tammy's, you dealt with wine and small plate curation, right?
Sorry, wine and what?
Small plates curation. Like, is building a great 15-minute stand-up set similar to preparing a menu or something? How do you think?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely. I had a Psalm and they did all that.
Yeah.
Like I just would go with what they said. But yeah, no, I think. But I have eaten in a lot of places, and I've enjoyed some very good wines and some very good charcuterie. And as pretentious and as weird as they are when the sommelier comes, they are trying to tell you something that. And as a comedian too, like I think for sure because you want a thorough line through the whole meal, through the whole 15 minutes. Like there's got to be something that's going all the way from the beginning to the end. Because that's not a point that I've been able to cross. I have like 10 minutes where I can go in and out of.
Yeah.
And I can put them in any order that they want, and they all kind of make sense. The last gentleman that was on this podcast, Tim Blair, I did a show with him last year sometime, and he was a headliner, and he just like killed. He's so funny, but he was just like, there was like a thing that he was doing where it was just like everything was connecting so seamlessly, and could kind of almost tell, because like the joke he started out with, he was making fun of like all of us, like everyone in the room there, like we're all. He kind of said like we're all different variations of each other in some different sort of way, and he went from there, and he just kind of like went through the whole set like that, there was a reason. There was a reason why he was headlining. You could tell just because of how he did it, and I know I definitely think of him as like improv being his like main thing, but like when he does do stand up, it's really impressive to see. But when I'm writing my 15 minutes, but now when I'm doing my 15 minutes, it's like all primarily about the last year of my life, about like having the kid. So like I was like, for 9 months, it was nothing but pregnancy jokes. And then there were kid jokes. So now it's like, for me, I'm kind of cheating because the events are so, in a linear fashion. Like she used to be pregnant. Now she's not. Now there's a kid, but that kid used to be there, like kind of thing. It's like, it's already working for me when it comes to that sort of thing.
It's like you're following a timeline.
Yeah. So there's like, I'm cheating, like in that respect. Like it's so much easier than
I don't think you're cheating. I mean, like you have the circumstances that allow you to do that.
Yeah, no, but I made those. I had the kid for the jokes, so so it works out perfectly. Everything I did it for the comedy. I did it for comedy. Don't ever tell her I said that. Delete that. No, I'm joking. It's fine.
That's what I call devotion.
Yeah. No, it was, no, we had her because she's an accident. No. Did it for comedy. No.
Okay. What's your favorite time a joke bombed so disastrously that you couldn't be mad, just genuinely fascinated by how badly the room rejected it?
Like what do I do? Was that my favorite time?
Yeah, like when you bombed, but your favorite time when you bombed, you were not mad about it. You were just like, oh fuck, yeah, that was fun.
I kind of got. Now every time I bomb is kind of fun because like I got past the point. Okay. So if you just back up, okay. When I first did comedy, it was actually like almost a decade ago. I owned this place called Loveless. Nick Flanagan and Steph Trov were at that point doing an open mic there. Steph, who now she's about to have her special on Netflix, and Nick Flanagan, who just released his new album. Please go see it. And I did really good the first time, and the second week I came back to do it. And of course, like any new person, I was like, I'm gonna do a whole new set, and it's gonna blow everyone's socks. Like I was like the first person to have this idea. I'm just gonna do different jokes, and then it bombed so bad. And Steph actually introduced me as the owner of the bar, which made people hate me. That I was taking up time. And I bombed so bad that I didn't do it for a decade. So then I made a promise to myself when I started again after COVID that I would, if I bombed, I'd get right back up there. And I bombed at the lab, and I remember I went somewhere else and I did slightly better, but it was kind of eye-opening. But now when I bomb, I'm just kind of like, oh, that wasn't funny. Because it must have not been funny. Like, I assumed that it was wrong of me to ever think it was funny. Because I usually don't bomb with the jokes that I know work. It's always the new stuff, and I'm always like, but I don't know if you've ever had this. I'll be walking around all day being like, I can't wait to get home and write this. This is the idea of ideas. This is going to be so masterful. And
then you're going out and it's like
nothing. And I was like, one time I was like, well, I remember one time, it was one time that I was just like, that was, I was like, guys, I don't know if you know this, but I've been working on that for 48 hours straight. Like that's been the last 2 days of my life. And it got absolutely nothing. And I was just like, it's still wrong.
Yeah, that happens. I mean, like you can't bet on the certain joke because like you've written that. The only thing that I remember worked for me when I actually laughed at it, you know, like I've been just doing a joke and I was like, oh yeah, that's actually funny. I love it. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, something like fucking keep. I remember like, the first time because I respect you so much because I always respect people who do things I can't. I just remember like you lying on the floor, like very, very, and I remember going up after you, like, I was like, are you okay? Like, is everything all right? Do you need to talk to somebody? Because it was like that good where I was like actually worried for the outcome of your night. And then I saw you do it again. I was like, oh my God. Okay. So it's like, it's a little bit of a bit. So it was like, and I was like, because I've never even attempted to get in that headspace where I can even do that.
Like, I mean, like Ian Dickey also, he wasn't here and he remembered that one set, but actually I explained to him that it was my challenge for myself to be a little bit less anxious on the stage.
Right.
And so why I decided like I can go and do the wild stuff in there, and if I will do the wild stuff and it will work, okay, then I can do it normally. So that's why I just quit doing that. Right. And when I stopped giving a shit about what I'm doing on the stage. My kid helped me with that kind of courage to like not get like after you do that, it's just like it's just comedy. You can kind of back off it. Yeah, so it's just like a matter of trying, and you will know until you are not experimenting on stage as well. So it's like with every new material. Okay, a little bit about writing. How do you think what's the best part of the day when ideas are hitting you and you're just like.
The best and worst part, something will always happen when I'm walking my dog, and that's when I purposely leave my phone at home. I can't tell you all the good bits I've forgotten by like not having my phone with me. Honestly, I like the insomnia nights when you're just playing them in your head and then thinking about like the laughs that you're gonna hopefully get with them. The worst, I mean not the worst, but like whatever when I sit down, I actually like write them out. And like I have to go through that process. That gets kind of, even though it's really good for memory, but I hate that part. But the actual, the kind of the eternal sunshine part where you're kind of like, oh, this is gonna kill. I can't wait to do this, and like just leading up to it and getting, and especially when you got like a new joke that you're like kind of proud of. I remember when I do this joke about grape juice, and I was actually like at like the whole thing had happened, like the everything that is in that joke actually happened. I was in the Prince Edward County, and I do the jokes. I'm not gonna say exactly what it is in case anyone, but it was like, oh, like I couldn't wait to like I was in the county visiting friends. We were doing mushrooms and acid, and it was like it was kind of like. Since I'm not married, so it was kind of like my bachelor party. My friends were like, "Hey, it's probably your last time you can go out before you have the kids." So, when I was on acid, I was thinking about the joke. When I was on mushrooms, I was thinking about the joke. When I was hungover, I was thinking about the joke. When I got in the car, I was thinking about the joke. When I was driving home, I was thinking about the joke. When I got home, when I wrote it down, and then a day later, I got to do the joke, and everyone laughed, and I was like, "Ah, yes!" But the whole thing. For it was a lot of fun.
Well, but when you do not let yourself think of the joke.
What do you mean,
like writing the joke? I mean, when you're just like not thinking about it at all, and then it hits you up.
Like on stage when you find things on stage?
No, not on stage.
Oh, it's just like something.
Yeah. So, for example, you were just like doing something, and like you were not thinking about like writing a bit or rewriting a bit, and then you were just like, oh my God, it just hits me.
Oh yeah, no, those are like, that's pure euphoria when that happens. But like, I think, like the way I'm not saying I'm an observational comic, but I'm looking around and sometimes something will hit me, but like it's just like it's the same thing everyone sees, but
Yeah.
you know, it's just, you know, like sometimes I'm like, well, like it's like, you know, joke's really funny when it makes you giggle, but like, you know, you think about like, oh well, where's that guy going after this, you know, like, and like, you know, you start like pretending his whatever that day is for that person, or like whatever happened before, like what would ever make that like thing kind of and when those things happen, those are a lot of fun because you really get to you know, play in the sandbox, as it were. It's always great to have a joke that's not about your life, you know. So it's like that's always fun.
That's true. I mean, like recently in the back room on Wednesday, there was an open mic, and there were like a bunch of guys who were wearing suits. Literally. And I was just like sitting, and everybody was making a joke about the suit.
Right.
Like, oh, you guys came in here in the suits. What are you working?
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck. But like the suits is even funnier. And that at the same point, I realized, okay, why do we actually still dressing up dead people in the suits?
Yeah.
Like it's a
Right.
waste of money.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, like
Yeah.
just by seeing it, yeah, like then you go, so your mind goes somewhere else, right? It's like, yeah, exactly. Like what does a dead guy have to do with like an Armani suit going like into the ground? It's like a waste of a suit. Yeah, just like that's of course. Oh, someone was doing a bit about that, but I can't remember. There's something like about like grave robbing or something like. But yeah, like they're not using it or something. I don't know. It's like a local community.
I don't remember. I mean, I remember only the jokes about late. Why we're calling dead people late,
Right.
and they were like, where are they late? What's going on? And like that was like the common thing, and I've been hitting that like all of the time as well. Like, okay, late, because you know English is not my native language.
Right.
So, yeah, and when
yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like when you're
The late Mr. Smith kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when you're just like trying to look from that kind of perception, you're just looking at one more time in this certain way.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, like because that joke's like, and those jokes are really good because like it doesn't make sense if I say it because you know I know.
Yeah.
But if you say it, it makes like of course that does make of course you know. And then for me, I'm now questioning and be like, why isn't that? That doesn't make any fucking sense, you know, like because it doesn't.
Yeah.
Because he's some of those old colloquial shits. Are weird.
So it's just like the same observation. I mean, like you don't have to look around to see what's going on.
Yeah.
But sometimes you're just like analyzing and catching.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes there's it's always the weirdest. Like sometimes right before, like whatever, especially on open mics, like there's always a thing to riff on whoever said whatever before you.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I'll say this, and then immediately because I think like that's kind of, or even on shows, like kind of makes the show better when they're that when the last joke keeps on going on to the next person because the momentum kind of keeps up the same, you know, like it's like good hosts get to do that. I've always, I mean, one time I was like, I was doing a show, and the guy did a really good set, and then the host went on for like 4 or 5 minutes, like kind of on a reset of the room. And I was like, and kind of worried because I had this joke I was going to say right after and he like kind of like the time just like it just kind of died. I was like, I had this really great joke. Like that shit kind of sucks. But
Yeah, sometimes it happens.
yeah.
Okay, we just mentioned a couple of local comedians,
Yeah.
but who are 2 or 3 or maybe more Toronto comedians right now whose writing or style you respect so much that you'll stop whatever you're doing to watch their set from the back of the room?
Oh, there's plenty. But I will say whatever Callum O'Neill's doing, I'm gonna watch that. I don't care. I will definitely do that. Thea Ranford, I'm a big fan of hers. I don't get to see her as much as I used to, but anytime Hannah was available to see, Hannah Van, like she's going to be huge. I really like and like a lot of people, I'm a big fan of Izzy. There's actually so many great people. I feel like I'm naming. I feel like I'm gonna like piss someone off by not naming them, but yeah, I like the people who every time I see them, they got like something a little new, or even like a spin on their own, like their older stuff, kind of changed the setups a little bit. Mm-hmm. I think I like really good writers for that. But yeah, those guys are great. And then obviously, like, you know, they are beyond the open mic, you know, threshold. But, you know, if I see the name Chris Lock or Tom Hardy, like, you know, I'm Tom Henry, I'm gonna go check that out. You know, Timberlake. Like, there's so many people. It's just the thing I like about, and like I'm just a big fan of what am I trying to say? Yeah, but I'm also like a really big fan of like, but these are like my friends, like Nathan and Callan and those guys are also really good. Everyone's like really good. There are only a few people that because I like to watch everybody in general. I think that's something that's kind of, if it takes a lot for me not to watch you. It takes a lot for me to be like, I'm going to go take, like, sometimes I legitimately have to, you know, take a piss or something.
Yeah, I mean, because like all the time when you're just like in there at the room, that point, you can be there, or you're just like in your own thoughts and just trying to do the material before you're going out.
Yeah, stage. And I'll say another thing is, some of the names I just mentioned, I only see them do comedy live. So, and there's no problem with it, but if you're posting all your clips and you're doing, you know, 5 or 6 open mics a week, and you know, you got reels, like I've seen you enough at some certain point. Yeah. You know, like where I'm like, I don't really have to, you know, like there's nothing, I'm not shitting on that.
Yeah, 100%.
I just like, it's just kind of like it's a diminished returns. If I've already seen it, then like you don't really want, because then if I don't laugh and it kind of fucks your day, like I don't want to do that either.
That's why a lot of people are actually now trying to do the social media content as well. Yeah. Like we know that big comics, for example, they are doing mostly crowd work or whatever, like podcasts or like they're trying to do. But like we are obligated, we have to post something. So that's why sometimes we're posting the parts and the bits of our own sets. Yeah. And that's actually sometimes makes people like feel a little bit like uncomfortable. I've heard it before. I don't want to do that. So completely understandable.
Yeah, and then some people are just horrible.
Okay. I ask this every guest on the show. What is that one album or track currently on heavy rotation in your headphones that gets you locked into the zone before a big show or week?
Oh, like a song or any?
Yeah, whatever. An album or a song or like you have a certain
playlist. in my brain, it's always, and I hope this isn't like too broad of a thing, but like it's always Eddie Murphy's Delirious. When I think about somebody, like everyone from the front of the room to the last seat, no matter what, everyone's laughing hysterically. And I try to like, and I'm not Eddie Murphy, obviously, but I'm trying to get into the mindset of like, you know, the total destroyer. Like, you know, like, and I will sometimes go back to those old clips, or I'll go to watch those to kind of look into the mindset of someone that confident who's like at that point so young and that good, and whatever. Because I try to like before I do a show, I do kind of have to get into a very, I got to get into like some sort of like Rocky superhero mode. Like I feel like I'm about to go into the ring, and like, you know, for 15 minutes I have to like, or for like, you know, whatever the time is, and I have to, you know, just do my best. Hopefully don't be the worst person on the bill kind of thing. I'm trying to, you know, or make sure I get my laughs and I can keep the show going. So I really have to, and you know, it's a very, very hard thing to do, especially if it's not first nature to you. So I'm in a very like Marvel movie kind of, I might be watching Endgame right before I go in to do something.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Any song that you would like to name and that keeps you up all the time?
Any song that gets me up? So I want it to age very, very good. It gets me like, okay. I like, okay. I am a big, and I'd have to wear headphones, and because the way I want to listen to the song is in a decibel that would disturb any neighbors, but I will gladly put on Helter Skelter by the Beatles and fucking just and go fucking nuts. Like that's that. I one time I used to play it in my car on Sundays outside of a church. I was just driving around church neighborhoods, just blaring it. The people in Roncesvalles were not very happy with me. I just thought it was really funny. But yeah, that's like my Metalopolis kind of song. So actually, anything off the Abbey Road's got She's So Heavy on it. I'm a big Beatles guy. Everyone thinks the same, but I like. And also, My Sweet Lord by George Harrison was a big one. I really fuck with All Things Must Pass. Lately, I've been really into what I've been kind of going back to lately. Oh, you know what I started re-listening to? Started re-listening to. It doesn't get me hype. It makes me chill out, but. The first XX album was just like, sometimes I'll just put that on and just, I listened to that 4 times in the last week. I don't know what's going on with me, but I think the baby likes it. My baby really likes Thinking About You by Frank Ocean. So I always put that on. I put that on for her. But now I need him to make another album because I'm starting to hate that song because she listens to it so much. That's the other one that's been in heavy. My daughter's deciding more of what heavy rotation is for me than I am at this point.
Okay, so should we put that one by the end of the episode?
Yeah, okay, you put that one.
Okay.
Any way you want to edit it. But yes, I think my daughter, Frank Ocean. We'll do one. Okay. Yes, my answer directly. After a lot of thought, you know how hyped Frank Ocean gets you. Yeah. Thinking About You, how hyped that gets you. You know what? Like, this thing is like the minute this is over, I'm gonna think exactly about the right song.
Unfortunately, the copyright of YouTube doesn't let us put the whole song. Yeah, so it's just like 7 seconds.
7 seconds.
But I'm trying to pick up like the most interesting moments.
I haven't listened to it in a while, but it used to be Bombs Over Baghdad was like my big, by Outkast. It was a big, it's a very hype song. It's a very jump up and down kind of thing.
Yeah. Nice. All right. And now we are going to finish up the whole episode with a lightning round.
Okay.
Ready? Mm-hmm. Favorite post-show late night food spot in Toronto at 2 a.m.?
2 a.m.
Maybe not 2 a.m. Post-show.
Post-show?
Yeah.
Even though they're got in a lot of trouble, I still like Latin World. The one right across the street from Backroom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Stereo setup check. Tube amps or solid state?
I'm not a tech guy. The first one, two amps.
Tube.
Two. Oh, 2 amps or what?
Tube amps or solid state? Like the digital ones.
Oh, no, 2 amps. I'm a 2 amps.
Okay. Best album to spin in a bar or restaurant to get people to order another round or stay for dessert?
Gotta put on something everyone likes. Ooh. Mirrors by Justin Timberlake.
Nice. Okay. One food, drink item that instantly red flags a customer's taste.
Long Island iced tea.
Why?
It's a get me fucked up drink. It's got 7 different ingredients. It's full of sugar. Anyone who has one and they have 2, they're gonna be a problem by the end of the night, guaranteed. Can't give it to them. Don't do that. I won't serve it. Won't serve them. I will ask them for ID if you ask me for a Long Island iced tea.
Okay.
Nothing blue should ever go into a drink. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Yeah. Okay. The ultimate post-stage comfort meal. Over the top gourmet or greasy diner food?
Greasy.
Okay.
Greasy as shit.
Worst drink order someone can make at 1:45 a.m. Long Island?
No, Caesar. Don't order Caesar past. If the sun's down, you do not order Caesar. Your bartender will hate you for it. I swear.
Why? Again.
For them to make it properly, they got to rim a glass. They got to put the vodka in. They got the Worcester sauce. You got to do the olives. You got to cut like a little pickle. You got a fucking lemon. You got a lime. You do the clamato juice, and you got to put in the horseradish, salt and pepper. It's a 12 ingredient drink. You got 15 minutes. You're trying to make as much money as possible before 2 o'clock. So in the order for me, I could open 25 beers in the time it would take me to make one Caesar. So I'm not making it. So don't order it. But I mean, if someone made it for you, God bless them. They're probably new to their job. Anyone should tell you that they're not doing that.
Okay. Favorite room or stage to perform in Toronto?
I had a great time at Comedy Bar Danforth. That was my favorite room. I've only done it once, but it was my favorite, and it was a great show. Kirsten did it, and it was called Motherfuckers, and it was really fun.
Okay. Strangest vinyl record you've ever contemplated buying?
Contemplated buying that I didn't get?
Yeah.
But I ended up getting it. I got a Waylon Jennings album that was just him reading letters he had sent to someone. I don't know why.
I know. I've heard about him, and I watched the tour.
Tour from Tour, that's what did it, because I'm a big fan of any fucking psycho, like a chaotic human being.
Yeah.
Who's got like a lovely soul and is a big guy and a big country guy. And I got obsessed with Outlaw from Mike Judge's Tale to Tour, so him and Johnny Paycheck and all those guys. And so I went out and tried to go find someone. I was like, I'm going to get a Waylon Jennings album and see if I have any, because I like this thing, but do I like this music? And I kind of bought it sight unseen. I just was like, oh, there's a Waylon, and I bought it, and I didn't realize it was just him talking. So there's absolutely no music on it.
Okay.
But
nice.
I contemplated throwing it out.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But I did your last sentence for mine. But yeah, thanks for coming. And the last minute is your promotion. I mean, if you want anybody to follow you on Instagram, we already know the nickname, the Gucci Champion. But if someone wants to see your comedy, do a promo for your show. Okay. Oh, cool.
I will be doing the show on August 6th at Tall Boys. If this comes out before then.
Yes, I suppose yes, because the episodes are going out weekly on Wednesdays.
Okay, so August 6th at Tall Boys. You can catch me at Tall Boys on Blower. I'll be at SoCap on August 8th for their festival thing. I am in a movie called Middle Life with the guys from July Talk. You should watch it if you have a chance. I'm also in a documentary called Love Harold, and it's about suicide, so it's not a fun one. But I'm also, if you're ever in trouble, that one's on YouTube, so you can check it out. And that movie is, I think, in theaters somewhere, or you might be able to watch it on a plane. I'm only in it for 10 minutes in both of them, but I am in them. But I already got paid, so you don't really have to go see them. So that's yes, and those two shows.
That's great. Okay, so yeah, waiting for everyone who's listening to us in there. I don't have a lot of the audience listening to me, but I suppose they are pretty much interested. Yeah. So thank you for coming, and thank you for sharing with us your story, your comedy perception, and in general, your life in Toronto.
Thank you so much. You helped the mother of my child not yell at me for an hour. So I really appreciate that by getting me out of the house. So this was good.
Okay, so now we're going to listen to...
What? Frank, what? The track?
Yeah, the track that we picked up.
Yeah, we're going to listen to... We picked the Bombs Over Baghdad?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, here we go.
Thank you.